intend to offend, we will offend. And if you have a delicate sensibility, click the X button in the corner, or if you're on a Mac, the red button in the left corner. Monty, welcome to the show of offending people.
Well, it never happened, and I make shit up. So for the last couple of weeks, everyone that has asked for a reading, apparently you're all from Scotland, from Purley in Scotland. You all live the same lives. It's very metaphysical, because we're all one. And I can't read the Akashic Records. I didn't even have a card. Whoa.
Welcome, everyone, to another adventure into comedy. I am joined by my co-host, Monty Dean. Monty, welcome back to our Friday comedy show.
Thank you, Andrew. It's good to be here. And, it's election day again.
Again?
Yeah,
as
day 4.
For the next 74 days.
Yeah. I did see a headline. The Biden camp said, we can remove trespassers from the White House. I'm like, that's the 20th of January. That's a long time away. And you're threatening people now. Like, yeah, this is from the party of peace, love, and mung beans and tolerance. That energy.
That energy, whether it's peace, love, and bum bums or guns, ammo, grenades, and rocket launchers.
Yeah.
Heavy metal and deer hunting. Four-wheel drives and ATVs and country music.
Oh, well, yes. One side, like, we want to be left alone. The other side is like, we want to tell you what to do. And that just builds a great charge for the polarity on the planet.
It's a perfect setup for the energy farm. Before the show, we were talking about the energy harvesting that's going on. And you and I were at this interesting, perception and point of view. And what I was trying to get apart was we've milked the cow too much. And now they're setting up for the season change. And right now, all the actors and directors are back screens trying to figure out how they can switch to season 4 and not tell us about season 3, just leave it as a season 2 cliffhanger and start right away with season 4.
Hang on, did I miss an episode? What's going on?
Yep, you'll catch it in the recap.
Yeah. I love when they do that. Like, we'll just do an episode for 30, recap of 30 seconds, just covers like half a season that you haven't seen.
Right, and that'll be for all of 2021.
Yeah. Wow. So a couple of things have happened. And everyone's losing their collective minds, where the Trump haters are gloating, and Trump lovers will defend, and no drama. Like, wow, what level of drama you want to be at?
Exactly.
People in the middle are going, oh, this is still going.
They're at DramaCon 1. There are nuclear drama bombs going off everywhere.
Yeah, and every day is just like I couldn't sleep well last night because I read social media. I know it's my own fault. I should know better. But I did see that was it Direct? There's a website that's pretty good at predicting the electoral race, and they actually called it Biden for Pennsylvania around about 1:30 in the morning, which is 8 hours ago, 8.5 hours ago, and that just triggered me off. However, I woke up this morning about less than an hour ago, and I looked at my local website for the ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. And all it says is Biden's inched closer. Oh,
it's like waiting for snails to crash into each other.
Yeah, it's a slow car crash.
Right. and the slower it goes, it's like, I cannot watch it.
Basically, yeah. It's instead of supersonic engines, land speed 300 miles per hour on a salt flat. They've got a broken Segway, slowly rolling slightly downhill at each other. Sort of the, you know, instead of like trying to think of, like, say Batman and the Joker at their prime, add 80 years. I'll get you. Oh, yeah, come on, then.
Exactly, an old Batman and an old Joker. Exactly. But their one-liners would still be great.
Oh yes, of course, yes. I'm actually watching a bit of Batman Beyond because I'm trying to balance fantasy with reality, because our reality is turning into a nightmare fantasy, and it's like it's really boring as well. It's like, yeah, okay, is Orange Man going to lead or is Mr. Magoo going to lead?
Well, there's the thing, you know, there's going to come a point where the left media that has made its money on Orange Man bad, which will then turn into a meme like Precious, my Orange Man, my precious Orange Man.
Yeah, exactly.
The one president to unite all the pundits, all the left pundits.
Yeah, like I could, you know, there'll be sort of if Trump leaves, you know, hopefully it's legally. That, you know, in 6 months' time he'll probably be doing a speaking tour like how the Clintons did it, or playing golf.
He'll be in jail. He'll be in jail. Executive privilege is gone, and he can't stop the subpoenas anymore. Basically, as soon as he stops being president, there's about 150 subpoenas that are in suspended action that immediately take effect.
Then why isn't Barack Obama in jail?
Because he wasn't subpoenaed. It never actually took action against him.
Yeah, but well, if that doesn't happen, I'll try and get to the end of my joke. Like the media will just like, oh, Donald Trump's done this. It's like, who gives a shit?
They won't have him as the boogeyman anymore.
That's what I mean. They'll just keep going back to him like, Donald Trump's eat sandwich, more film at 11.
Right. It'll be like talking about, you know, George W. Bush jokes, you know, after the second term Obama, second term Obama. We're like, huh? They don't make no sense.
I did see on Twitter where someone said, like, how can Nevada or Georgia taking this long to count votes, and yet Florida counted in 12 hours? And Jed Bush said, like, we learned our mistake from 2000 and we changed the laws.
Yes. Now, the irony of what's is or isn't happening is humanity is at a time where, well, what does it want to do with itself in this slow motion train wreck?
Yeah. See, this is where I get the whole thing that the dark side are playing with this, and because they've been stuck, they're trapped on this planet for so long that they want to be caught. And I just had this thought there now, because we're in that, there's an element of freedom. Does that make sense? Like, oh, this is what it's like if they're not in control.
Yes. No. We just got exposed to a bigger playground, a bigger cage. We just got a bigger cage. That's it.
Well, yeah.
We're free range prisoners now.
Yeah. We've looked up from the sandboxes like, wow, this playground's huge.
Right.
This hamster wheel's not the only ride on this in this thing.
Exactly. Bigger sand pit, new toys. Yay.
Well, yeah, that's very global narrative. Like, yeah, you're free to roam in this prison. It's like, yeah, there's a cell, and then there's a cell.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're out of the cell, but we're in the prison yard. Eventually, you go, wait a minute.
So I'll make the next segue here. All the swamp creatures are being united in the Swamp United Nations right now. Okay, and all the swamp bills are being put forward of what they're going to do, and then the swamp people, the people that support the swamp monsters, you know, that's like the swamp Congress versus the swamp Senate. Okay, Those are the combination of above grounders, below grounders, and middle managers and bankers and et cetera, and they're all trying to figure out, well, what can we harvest next out of them. We need a switch in narrative. We know we can get them to believe the narrative. It'll be a long and hard sell. There will be some things we have to clean up, like Orange Man bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Believe in our damn vaccines, assholes. Okay.
Well, that's yeah. You've got the continuing story of the Rona, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Biden could be a lame duck president because the
No matter who's in office, lame duck is
yeah,
inevitability.
okay, because didn't the
The
Republicans
co-
made ground in everything else.
and that means the Republicans will hold fast unless one party falls apart. More than likely, one party will fall apart at some point.
Oh, see now there's
Okay?
a comedic rabbit hole we can go down
Right.
because we need a third party, but that splits votes. Blah blah blah. However, what if
My view, the
one of the
MAGA
parties
the
disappears?
the MAGA groups where we go, all those guys will form into the new a new aspect of the Republican Party, and the pro-Trump, pro-conspiracy QAnoners will replace the what was it, Tea Partiers.
Okay, I just it made me smile because it sounds like Star Wars, the new Republicans.
That this has happened before. That's
Mm.
they keep two parties, but they're an aspect within the parties, and more than like the MAGA group will break away immediately from the Republican and form their own third party.
Yeah, because if the Democrats did poorly, that's going to destroy it. Because the way they pushed out Marianne Williamson and Tulsi Gabbard, and even like Bernie's been screwed over twice. He played his role really well. I mean, he had that rehearsal in 2016, and then he did the same thing this time, and it's like there's a pattern here, people. I thank you for the donations. I'm not running anymore. I'm going to go to one of my many houses and stay there.
And talk to my billionaire friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, no matter who takes office, what they have in front of them is a monumental task that you cannot make mistakes at. Simple as that. Okay. And you have to figure out how to deal with an extremely angry population at the same time.
Yeah. Because I don't really see anything really going smooth sailing.
Right.
At
Democrats, because of the new alignment in the Congress and into the Senate, it's going to be even harder to pass bills now. Now, Trump's last office, that Congress and Senate was the least effective Congress in all of congressional history. It passed less bills, less thing. Everything was executive action from the executive branch, not a legislative branch creation. Okay, so we have to recognize that. So this next Congress, if it can't do anything, it lame ducks the president.
Yeah.
Democrat or Republican, it lame ducks them, which means it's kicked the can down the road for 4 more years, meaning they all knew about the mortgage scandal that was coming in 2008, and then they kicked it on to Obama just before Bush left office, okay?
Yeah, to quote that great newsman, Kent Brockman, I've said it once and I'll say it again. Democracy just doesn't work.
Exactly. Now, if we go back to the Biden, he has to cross party lines and do a whole bunch of things and then repair our image to the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rest of the world's laughing at. Like, there's actually a Simpson meme where when the rest of them's like, hang on, he's Homer's about to do something stupid, but it's like rest of the world is watching him, and Homer's the United States.
Well, what would mean it goes right back to currency manipulation. That was the mainstay of the Obama presidency, keeping us solvent, was currency manipulation.
Yeah, well, that was sort of one thing to go down because December 9, 11 months ago, it did kind of look good for the American people because they were getting more money than Obama. However, behind the scenes, the economy was that's the one. He's about to do something stupid. The economy was around about to be collapsed, and then Rona kicked in, and it kind of collapsed, but in a control free fall, and we're still here.
Right. Because they helicoptered trillions of dollars of cash into individual accounts to shut them all up.
Yeah, and they're not talking about that, like, even
just like they did
Australia.
right after 2008. They don't talk about it. Not one banker went to business. They didn't bail out it would have been far less to bail out each individual human being in the United States versus but they paid all the banks and the businesses.
Yep. the Big Short is a great film where they point that out, where the banking system knew about it. They got all the money from the government, which is taxpayer funded, and then gave themselves all bonuses afterwards. So like once again, it's like, is Team Dark trying to lose here? We're doing this. Oh, they don't care.
Greed is what brought greed and avarice was what brought down the British Empire. Their individual governors became greedy motherfuckers to the point they were the worst of the despots who were overthrown.
Yeah, and also you remember back then they kept referring to God as an Englishman,
right? King John. King John.
Yeah. I do find it slightly amusing where, like here in Australia, where they met the Aboriginals. Hello. Well, clearly they're savages, and we're civilization, and we're civilized, and so they killed them all, which doesn't sound very civil.
Right. So what I wanted to finish touching on was we talked about the two sides of whoever takes over. More than likely, it's lame duck presidents going forward. What does that mean to the individual human beings moving forward? That means it's going to give them 4 years to show us a bunch of new stuff to get us interested in something else, to get us off the addiction of the last president.
Yep, I realized what the global narrative is doing. Yeah, you remember seeing the Return of the King?
Yep,
that movie with its 18 endings.
Mm-hmm.
Because story-wise, they could have ended when they got the Eagles picked up Sam and Frodo, and it went on for another 20 minutes.
Right, it went on for another 20 minutes. Each individual story arc needed their own ending.
Yeah. Jack Nicholson actually said to Elijah Wood, "Really good film. Love the acting, but did you need all those fucking endings?"
It's the only way to tie the shit up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, what are some of the loose ends they're going to have to leave that they just can't tie up? Inflation. Okay, they can't cover that one up. All the trillions of dollars that have gone somewhere, and yet what's going on with it?
Yeah, and you also got the whole defund the police and the Black Lives Matter and Antifa. Now, what will Antifa do if Biden gets in? Like, they're raging against the machine, but if their guy gets in, who's controlling the machine, will they start changing their perspective of like, oh no, Biden's now evil?
They will be taken over just like the Occupy Wall Street was taken over by mostly CIA asset people that got in there, acted as temporary leadership.
Yeah, because it's going to be
they're going to switch them away from violence and get people out and support, and they're going to become a community organization like Acorn, like the defunct Acorn.
Yeah. Okay. So there's comedy there where like Antifa were bloodthirsty and destroyed everything.
Yes.
Yeah, if they're anti-fascist and they get rid of the fascist, like they're just anti.
Exactly. It's like Sinn Féin, the nonviolent arm of the Irish military.
Yeah, that's one sort of weird thing that I like from 9/11. When 9/11 hit, all the Irish people was like, "All right, let's chat then." This terrorism thing, it seems to have ramped up a little bit.
Just a wee bit, exactly.
Let's sit down and talk to these fellas. All right.
So, with that being said, that whoever's going to be there, it's lame duck moving forward for them and kick everything down the can on the road. Where does that leave us in the awakening journey? And I put this out to everyone in the chat room here too.
Well, if Biden, like, because if it's a peak of like Biden's going to change the world, and he just goes back. No.
It's 4 more years of holding. It's just kicking the can down the road, and that's
that's what I was getting at. Whatever, because like even Trump won't sort of perform that well as well.
Well, Trump will fade out of history fast.
Yeah,
he won't be getting the news like he did before because the news agencies aren't going to cover him, and Fox News has to figure out how to change its news and keep its viewership, and then CNN has to figure out what it's going to do without their precious orange man.
Yeah. and what will big tech do? Will they keep following the same line of censorship and all that type of shit?
Big tech will then come to Biden's age, and Biden will have a big shortly after his inauguration, probably after the first 100 days in office, where he'll have all the big tech guys come on the hill, and it'll look like they're grilling them, but in actuality, they're going to give them something good at the end.
Yeah, because it's
A
still
good job, well done.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if the global narrative's changing seasons, will they still push for the New World Order and all that old school story? Because if they're
Will the NWO writers survive? Because usually when you change season, you do change writers too, right?
Yeah, because like in the moment of now, to harvest energy, you can't really want a New World Order because
they fucked up on the marketing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you rather want to have humanity slightly positive and achieving things where everyone's a bit niggly and you build tension. If it's New World Order, it's like, well, we've got to rebel, and you know what I mean. Like the energy wouldn't be as delicious. It's that classic empire rebellion thing. And if the Empire wins, it's just like it's gonna get, if you eat salted crackers for 3 weeks in a row,
no,
this is terrible.
Usually after just one or two, I'm like, enough. Unless I'm dipping them.
That's what I mean. I'm like,
So what I was trying to get at is 4 more years of nothing happening, because in all reality, nothing happened these last 4 years.
Oh, there was a lot of yelling.
But that was it. It was all swamp gas lighting on fire, okay?
Well, yeah, Trump did start well. Like for the first 7 weeks, he was keeping promises, and that freaked out a lot of people. It's like, hang on, a politician keeping promises. And then I think someone had a word with him, and then he changed tact. And like we're still waiting for Hillary to be locked up, and all this other stuff. And apparently fracking is a wonderful thing now.
Well, Trump is if he loses, he's going to face, as I said, like 150 subpoenas that are in suspension.
Well, that sideshow will drive. How will
they'll put a news gag on it and block it out. Tell Trump he can't talk about it or anything at all. And they've done that to many mime RICO cases, because they'll try to build a RICO case against him.
Because I could see a lot of the left gloating about, your orange god has fallen.
Yes, the cult of Trump.
Yeah.
Okay. The cult of Trump. And you can mark my words, they're going to call it the cult of Trump.
Oh, yeah. But that's also a delaying tactic as well, because it's like, as Q, or there's a solar flash on the solstice this year, and when it doesn't happen, there's a life lesson, if that is the right way of saying it.
Nothing happening is how they harvest the farm. By making you think something's going to happen, and nothing happening keeps you harvested.
Yeah, instead of doing the personal inner work of mastering your mastery and evolving that way, instead of outside help of like, he'll save us. And like, well, it's been three decades. Oh yes, the hopium. Yeah, they're going to bring out a new flavor of hopium.
Yeah,
because the narrative needs a villain or an enemy, and so Biden gets in, Trump disappears. There's a massive vacuum that someone will step up, and then you can have that a bit of argy-bargy between two major characters.
Oh, well, there will clearly be that. So as I was saying, one party is going to have. Both parties are going to have a trouble keeping themselves modern identified. And if Trump loses, the Republicans have to figure out how to reclaim power without apologizing.
Well,
and also Democrats, they got to figure out how to work with those other guys, because they just proved they have no capacity to do anything.
Well, that's the other thing. You've got the Trump cultists, and it's just a simple label. If they're even now they're looking at the Republicans who aren't with Trump standing up for him, because half the party's like, oh, the never Trumpers. That's going to impact people, because it's like, I'm here for Americans. Well, except for Donald Trump, you prick. We know you let him hung out to dry. You know what I mean? Where it came, instead of they weren't really party centric. They were very personal. And so that will hurt people in the long run, where it's like, you can trust me. No, Donald Trump trusted you, and you can go get fucked.
I guess I have a different perception on that. The Republicans haven't been fully supporting him for a while. Okay. And many of them put their necks out on the line for him for when he was impeached. Okay.
Yeah.
And he owes a lot of them a lot of favors for defending him during that impeachment. Okay. So he doesn't have as much political credit or credit as he did before.
No. I just, if he escapes going to jail, he'll just have to go back to making money again, and then he'll help out everybody. So,
well, as I said, if and when he leaves office, all of those subpoenas immediately come, because all of his things have been about executive privilege, which has stopped all those things. And they will try to make the Trump going down spectacle as bad as Bernie Madoff. And that will be their villain that they scapegoat and sacrifice to the Illuminati gods.
Yeah, well, that saved the media, because no matter, even if Trump loses, he's outperformed the polls.
They're already talking about truth and reconciliation committees. They're already talking about that. To have actual truth and reconciliation committees and tribunals.
Because the blatant lying.
Right.
As I try to explain to you before the show, it is like, if you remember the Tonya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan incident, where Tonya hired someone to hit Nancy in the knee with a crowbar. But the difference here is that Nancy's on the ice rink, and she's in a middle twist, and the guy comes out with a crowbar and goes whack, and in front of everybody, in front of the cameras. It's like the Australian cricket team, where they try to tamper with the ball, which is cheating, in front of 35,000 people and 24 cameras, and they wonder why they got caught.
You wonder how they got caught. Exactly. Well, as I was just saying, this is a critical time of nothing happening, and they're going to try to sell us on the next thing, the next big thing of what they want us to believe in. Now, they begin to pepper us here and there with all these, how do I put it? I don't want to give too much away. Political constructs, such as the many isms, communism, feminism, Marxism, all the isms are the great fears that they put forth. There's going to be not a new Green Deal. There's going to be a Reconstruction Act. Now, people are going to call that a reset, but it is not a reset. It is just something they're going to talk about, but never pass in a bill.
Because, globally, the financial, the Great Reset's supposed to start in January. And is that just a distraction to keep us in pause mode?
That's the distraction they're going to try to sell you on, as they use misdirection to keep your hand away from the eye, your eye away from the hand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That I can see that happening, because I try and bring point. The conspiracy world's loving this at the moment, really loving it. It's all over. It's all over. No, it's just even my superhero. If I was a superhero, I would be Pedantic Man. Which January? That's a good question. They say the next January, but it could be 2035. The way that these people work. It's like it's all over. They've won. It's like, well, no, they haven't. There's plans of what they want to do.
They've just begun.
Yeah. And also, it won't be instantaneous. Like they tried that with Germany in the late 30s, where all right, everyone becomes us, and if you disagree with us, we'll destroy everyone. Yep. That doesn't work. So they've got to do that slow creep, as David Icke, the totalitarian tiptoe.
Yes, the totalitarian tiptoe, which is what the next presidency, no matter who it is, has to do.
Yeah,
and
I got a feeling we'll probably
keep a reconstruction theme. It may not be that word, but it will not be the reset. And as I said many times, there's no such thing as the reset.
Yeah. Well, their slogan is "Build Back Better," and it's like, which 4-year-old came up with that?
Until they take office a debt-based market, there is no reset. Nothing will happen. Never happen. Yeah. The debt has to be taken off the books. And then they have to look at all the cookbooks and go, well, what are we going to base our economy on that isn't cookbooks?
Yeah. I think to answer a short answer to your question of how will this impact the awakening community? I think we're going to say still as a question a lot. We're going to fix still. You're still trying to help. You're still trying, it's that pause of like, really? I think that may cause more people to go into their own dream bubbles, because the global dream bubble is getting boring as rat shit.
To an extent.
Yeah.
Will they go into their own dream bubbles? Who the fuck knows?
No,
Who the fuck knows at this particular point?
I'm not a Sith Lord. I'm not speaking in absolutes.
I know. I get it. And what I'm just trying to get across is it's 4 more years of nothing happening. It will look like something's happening, but in reality, it will be nothing happening. Now, if Trump survives political assassination on the other side of losing the office, he will run again. He absolutely will run again.
Yeah. Well, see, in the long run for the narrative, that would feed so much because in a way, Trump's disgrace. But that's one of the ideas that pushed out already, because there isn't a conclusion to this election, day 4, for the fucking sake. But they're like, will Trump run in 2024? They're trying to push that idea already out there. Just like to butter people up where
we could have some positive things happen. I don't see that immediately in any near-term changes, short of some kind of major disaster that has to unify a people. But I've always said there's no disasters coming. And part of the keep waiting it out, nothing is happening, is the attrition of attention. Attrition, like World War I was the Allies won via attrition. They had more troops to let die off than the Germans did. Yeah.
Wave after wave after wave.
And the awakening community has to be able to stay awake to all the nothing happening and all the people that are going to try to charge and polarize you into making something happen when it's an internal yourself journey.
Where do you sense how does COVID fit into all this? Because Biden wanted to mask everybody and lockdown and blah, 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 blah. However, I did see a headline this morning, the 7 minutes it was online, and then had to hang out with you guys. Much better hang out with you guys. An expert says New Zealand and Australia, COVID could die off in the next 3-4 months or something. They sort of, they've given the idea of an out.
For a limited time until it comes back again, and they actually give us actual real reports on the virus, which is basically saying it's mutated to at least 16 to 20 strands, and any vaccines that we have will only be for 5 or 6 strands.
Now, would that mutated worse? Or
some conditions it'll be worse. There'll be certain versions that'll be hitting more on children, and other versions are more to the senior citizens. And then there'll still be the people who are asymptomatic but carry a high viral load and are mass spreaders.
Yep. I just had an image of all these conspiracy heads basically screaming bioweapon. Like, okay. They've released another bioweapon.
No, it's not.
I know. I'm not saying it's that. That's what they will say.
I get that. What I'm trying to put across here is coronavirus is here to stay. It's a matter, are they going to tell us why it's here to stay or not? And they got to make as a global narrative policy of conversation. Trump lost this election because of what he did in the coronavirus. I will say that direct. If he had followed 20% of what his staff was telling him, he would have won by a landslide. Yeah. But he chose not to. He chose to do his other journey. Yeah. Trump cannot do 4 more years of what he just did and the person itself may not be capable of doing it, and his staff, it doesn't doubts that he'll be able to change who he is. And what we're seeing right now is a determination if Trump, the person, or Trump, the controlled person, is going to step forward or step forward before Biden takes over and gives a truth scenario on the virus. Meaning he's been a part of it since the beginning, and I may as well dump all the stuff we haven't told you.
Yeah, well, I remember having conversations about if Trump, Trump's as a character in this story, he's there for a reason. He may not know what that reason is, and so if he loses, 3 weeks from now, it's like, here's free energy. I mean, that won't happen because because that would
you never know. I've said since the beginning, it could take one CEO who wants to push an IPO and say we have free energy, and you can try to get it to get traction. I think if all that's potential could happen now.
Oh yeah, and that would be because I can see an avalanche because the whole idea of it's an inside job with the awakening, and 2020 sort of shown that you have to be awake, and because I hang out with you and I know you, it's like you're only getting to level 1. There's 1,000 levels of awakening.
In this next 75 days before we find out who's going to be president. Okay. During that time, the global narrative is trying, because I'm sure Trump's got his Trump cards he's going to play. And one of them is I'll go out on public TV and reveal any number of these truths. And you guys have to deal with it. I'll pardon myself and then I'll leave office and then run against you in 4 years.
Now, what will the media do? Because they actually, Twitter has been censoring his tweets, and the major networks actually cut away from his press conference,
including Fox News.
Yeah, because he's our baseless claims and outrageous conspiracy theories. They're pushing that narrative where no, everything's fine. Like the voting's fine. The voting's fine.
They have to save their viewing audiences. That's why.
Yeah.
They have to save their view. There'll be a mass stopping of watching the news, which means the next 3 quarters, no one's going to get good paychecks. Okay,
they've been on decline for so long anyway. This is there's a level of stupidity that's involved because everything they sort of do to try and save the audience just pushes them further out, and that's where big tech sort of comes in. They're trying to take out the alternative media. The alternative to the media. That's a better way of saying it.
The alt to the alt to the alt to the alternative of the alternative media. We're on 7 layers of alternative media now.
I know. How deep do you want to go? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching, I think, the only spiritual comedy show on the planet today. And it's awesome to be at the tip of the spear in the forefront. But, some hacks are just going to come in and steal our thunder. Like, you bastards.
Exactly, you bastards. So we're at a point in the show where we want to ask people who want to come out and have a conversation with us to go down and hit that participants button and go raise your hand. Now, the last couple Fridays in a row, we've had some really chicken shit audience members.
Bon Jovi, raise your hands.
And then we had people that raised their hands but didn't have anything to say. So if you want to have a conversation with us, go down to that participant buttons. That's all of you. Click that raise hand button. One person. Just one. There we go.
Now, it's not like we're going to go in the car park and let you fight it out. Because there was one question in the chat. How does all this stuff relate to the inner Earth? And I find that amusing as well. Where if it's as above as below, it's if there's political intrigue happening there, but at the end of the day, it's you still have them in control. Like the farmers aren't going to go, "Oops, sorry, you're all free now." So
as above, it's Orange Man bad, and as below, Orange Lizard bad.
Yeah.
Wah.
And they've wheeled out this crusty old lizards like, oh, yeah, I remember when the Anunnaki were real lizards.
Exactly. Before you did all your DNA changing.
Yeah. Look what. Yeah, the Jewish for some strange reason. That's not a
Yes,
racist joke. Look what you're doing. We used to have a gold mine here, and you fucked that up.
exactly. All right,
Now
Robert.
6%. So yeah,
There we
that's a
go.
wheel.
Robert, let's spin up the wheel of colors and see who wants to have a comedical conversation with us.
Orange wizard.
It's a pretty good imitation, Monty. Lilith, you're getting a signal to unmute.
Lilith, are you there?
Oh, hey.
Hi, where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Alaska.
Alaska, welcome to the show. What did you want to talk about today?
Thanks. I don't know, like the last Friday, there were lots of people writing. They were wanting some kind of hope, something good, right?
Uh-huh.
And what I wanted to say, and I didn't get the last time, but it basically applies. So we're all gonna be fine. It might take the next 35 years, I'm thinking, but
Yeah.
Where it's coming from and why I think I can say that is because I was the person who survived the fall of one empire. So it was USSR, right?
Uh-huh.
And now it feels to me like I'm living through the fall of another empire, whatever you're going to call it. And don't know why it is the way it is, but I can tell you we're going to be fine. And so I can tell you that somehow what I experienced in life is that the first time I had nothing to lose, so it was kind of bad and good of it, right? And now it's kind of flipped on me. I have a lot to lose, so again, bad and good comes with it. So that's kind of my commentary on that. So the people who have nothing to lose and those who have everything to lose, that's kind of, we're all gonna be fine.
yeah, human adapt. One thing I did speak to Andrew, I can bring this in. Because you've got that the trilogy or the triangle, Rome, London, and Washington. The farmers can't get rid of America because if that goes, everything goes. So there may be a little hiccups across the way. However, America will survive. It may change, but you're humans. You'll be amazed what you can live through. It won't be at the end of World War II where it's the Soviets and the Nazis fighting over land. It'll probably just ideas because they're not really into conventional warfare anymore.
Well,
no.
America has changed many times.
Yes, it
many,
has.
many times. All right. When the Fed took over in 1912, the Alien Powers Act, all the stuff that JFK did 10 years to the moon, it changed many times. Power has changed many times here. And that obelisk, the Washington Monument, is one of 3 obelisks of power that were taken from the original Egyptian cities that controlled the pyramids themselves, one in Rome, one in Washington, and one in London. The one in Washington represents this tip of the spear, the weapon, the military side. The one in the city of London is the money collecting, the harvesting energy. And the one in the Vatican is the one that transmutes the energy and then spreads it back around to the rest of the system of domination and control. It's the transmuter or the cleaner of the harvested energies. Okay. Now,
so yeah.
Go ahead. With that an idea, they have to retask themselves during this change in the global narrative.
Oh, they've been updated.
Yes.
They're updating. Yeah, they're logging into the App Store and updating. Yeah. Because like with the Soviet Union, where everyone freaked out, all this stuff, it's still there. I mean, Russia's still the enemy according to certain people. Also, have you noticed that the people complaining about the election's totally fine, Trump's just losing his mind, everything's legal, are the same people that have been saying for 4 years that the Russians caused Trump winning 4 years ago. Like, well, pick a lane.
The other thing is, am I still on? The other thing is, what feels like to me, and I think I can say that they, whoever is at power, it seems to me, they move that stick. Like you used to be that you could retire a certain age with certain income, certain savings, and you may be able to make this many years until you die, right? I think it has been moved within the past couple of
Oh,
whatever
absolutely.
weeks or
Absolutely.
months.
Yeah.
Like it moved again. It's like kind of noticeable to me. Yeah.
But that's part of
So
they're milking the cow too much. Where
mhm.
the story was you work for 40 years and the last quarter of your life you'll be on holiday, but they're bumping it up where people in their 70s are still working as a janitor, and it's like, well, this is not what we were told. This seems a bit wrong.
Yeah, they did it like in between '06 and '08, and it seems to me yet again it happened just now. That's what I feel.
Well, we are living longer, which upsets
Yeah.
the globalists. Like,
Yeah.
these useless eaters are breeding. It's like, yes, we are.
All right, Lila, thanks a lot for calling in. We're going to
Okay.
move on to our next caller.
All right, thanks.
All right, Robert, spin up the wheel. No, spin up the wheel, caller. See who's next.
Rolly.
Rolly, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Welcome to the show. What do you want to talk about today?
Okay, so we got to demoting the orange man to a tangerine man. and we got to see what he's got left in his pockets. So, does he have another 60 handkerchiefs that he can pull out of one pocket?
He's got a trump card in one of his pockets.
A really big one, like a novelty one, about 3 feet wide.
Yep.
Does it have a Joker face on it?
No, I mean his face.
It probably has his face on it, exactly.
That was the other thing. It's like his ego is so big that he's going down. He's going to try and take, like another 10 states into recounts. And
listen, he could take down the whole government. They all know it. All right, he could take down everybody's extortion party that they got going on. He could take it all down.
Yeah, and this is for international listeners. He's going to do it very American-like. No offense to the Americans listening.
And he won't have to turn states' evidence. That's the thing. He can still pardon himself. He can still become the first presidential whistleblower and pardon himself.
Well, he'll be remembered for that.
Does that mean that everything's on Hunter's laptop and he can just do one download and that's the end of it?
Listen, it's not about what's on Hunter's laptop.
What laptop?
That's only one minor aspect of what's going on in the greater world today. Okay?
Yeah, well, there's also Wiener's laptop, and it's that sort of went nowhere as well. They just love, like, here's a plot point, and we'll let that fade into the background.
Those are called trial balloons. Okay, it's a political process where they put a bunch of hot air in a subject, float it out there, and see how people react to it.
So that's the clickbait thing of like we're going to get hit by a giant asteroid or
so the solar flash on the 21st, and the next person asks me what's going to happen on the 21st of December. Nothing. Nothing's going to happen.
You'll wake up, you'll get dressed,
I will put a verbal confirmed $1,000 bet that there will be no solar sneeze, no solar flash, no reset of the economy. The aliens will not land on December 21st or the 22nd or the 23rd or the 24th. Okay?
I was going to say, but the 22nd, oh my God.
None of them are going to happen.
No bottle of champagne, huh?
Nothing's going to happen. Okay? You're going to celebrate it. You're going to celebrate a new year, and Orange Man will still be bad. Okay? Until Orange Man is no longer in office, and then it'll be Orange who?
Yeah, well, Mr. Magoo's the character now, so yeah.
Oh, they're going to relentlessly make fun of him. I have no doubt that they're going to, because who are they going to make fun of?
Oh, well, yeah, they wheel him out. I mean, it's sad. It's been sad up and now where it started out being funny, but after more of watching him, he kept making mistakes and getting, like, there's actually a recorded quote saying, we have put together the most comprehensive voter fraud system in American history. Like, what?
Yeah, but that's generations old. He inherited that. Come on.
Yeah, but he said that to camera.
So what? What has Trump said to camera? Come on.
I don't know. I don't try and listen to him. I mean, the thing for Trump, the way I describe Trump, yes, he looked directly at a solar eclipse. That should tell you all about the man.
Okay.
He's got his goggles on.
Maybe Gaff Express is going to become the new Trump. He may say screw it one day instead of malarkey. He may tell somebody to fuck off.
and the media will just hold his water, where it's like, oh, that Joe and his witticisms.
And then all of a sudden he's going to call Fox News fake news. Come on, he's going to troll the shit out of him.
Oh yeah, and the sniffing. There'll be more sniffing of small people.
So basically, you just covered the next 4 years worth of Saturday Night Live.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder who they're going to get in to play. Will they get Jim Carrey to play Biden again?
Probably. they probably did a 4-year deal with him.
And special guest every week, Jim Carrey.
Now, there's also a potential that once they settle everything in the Congress, that you won't see Nancy Pelosi in that position anymore.
So that's a win. I'm putting that out right now. Like, I want her to go away.
Well, a lot of people want her to go away.
Not like a mafia go away. Like, she can go retire and drink even more.
Well, again, if your two sides are going to work together, the highest rhetoric people got to go. Simple as that. Otherwise, it's going to be 4 more years of them not working together at all, which is what's happened the last 2.5 years. They haven't worked together at all on anything.
And I think the public may notice.
Right.
Nothing.
Like, as soon as the new Congress comes in, it's got to vote immediately raise the debt ceiling. You all realize that, right? And it's got like 12 or 15 days to pass it. Okay.
So business as usual. We're just keep kicking. We're up to $30 trillion now, everybody.
Right. So they'll pass a temporary extension that will go until June, and then they'll have the rest of February and March and April, May to figure out what they're going to do to keep you fooled until the next debt ceiling raise, which will then take you to October the same year, 2021.
How many cans do these people have that kicking? Like, it'd be a racket for anyone living on that street. It'll just kick it down, just kick it down, just kick it down.
They've been doing it like a machine for generations. Okay.
And I think that may help people with the awakening, is because the pattern recognition, it's like, what, again? Or still?
Okay. Now, as we go to this next season, I commonly like to say we're skipping season 3 and we're going to start season 4 with a recap of what happens on season 3.
Yeah. Now, when's the air date for that? Will that be January 20th?
January 20th, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Until then, this is all TMZ reporting.
It'd be interesting to see how many people Biden get at his inauguration. Like, because I don't think there's many people like
they will pay for more. They will pay for more people coming.
How does George Soros fit into this, or is he just a boogeyman that people have to blame for weird shit happening?
The Soros, so opposite of Soros is the Koch brothers. Well, one of them died, Koch brother now. Okay,
one Coke down, one to go.
Exactly. So they're the ones that are catalyzing the purchasing of media agencies, written, print, text under one corporate banner, and to making sure that all the media industries are owned by the parties or the political action committees. So that's their main thing they do in the infrastructure. And then the rest of it is they all invest into defense contracting, because that's the real bread and butter.
Well, yeah. Well, there'll be a war, because that's one thing that Trump is sort of known for, that he didn't start a war, and he
And will there be a war? Will there be a war, or will there be a false flag? Which is another thing that's perfect to kick the can down the road.
Yeah. Because and then nothing will happen if there'll be a false flag like China did it, and then there'll be 4 years of like all YI order.
Well, it could be something as simple as a breakup on the COVID rules, where one border, one thing opens the border and one doesn't, and a whole bunch of COVID shit happens, which then stops the political games going on.
Now, with the whole COVID thing and the way they're pushing back, like we've just come out of our second wave, and it's fascinating to see where we're out of lockdown. Everyone, apart from masks, everyone's just gone back to COVID normal. And it's like, how do you think how the public will react if they go into a third wave? Because the lie is wearing thin.
Well, I agree, but the lie wasn't sold correctly.
Oh yeah. There's going to be a lot of firing in the marketing. It's like, you people are idiots.
Okay, they gotta fix their whole marketing when it comes to the lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that, because just the backlash of England going into lockdown, and we had on Tuesday, Victorian time, over 400 arrests for anti-lockdown protesters. And of course, that's just building more division between people, where like, what are these idiots doing? Don't you know there's a deadly disease that the mortality rate is 0.04? Like the way that it's all pushed, like, what part of it at the start of the year was that the health system will be overrun, pointing out the health system sucks, but it didn't, because of all the nurses on TikTok proved that. Well,
believe it or not, a lot of nurses lost their job because they weren't elective surgeries and all these other things going on in the hospitals. Okay? So there's another big ass lie going on there. And that's where that terminology reconstruction has to be thrown around so that people can think there's some kind of hopium for them to begin smoking. Okay? While the big tech and the big banks etch away the rest of private equity out of people's hands.
Yeah, because you got to have the fine balance between not making everyone unemployed, but at least working and trying to survive and make enough money for food. Because if there's too much crime and too much unemployment, and if the whole world goes third world, people may sort of react to that.
There's enough infrastructure to keep the food lines flowing. That's not the issue.
No.
The issue is somebody going to manufacture the lacks of food?
Oh yeah, it's false scarcity. Yeah,
false scarcity. Now, mandatory vaccines, that's a long ass time away. Well over a year away before they even talk about passing laws for mandatory vaccines.
Now there's kicking. That was a good kick of the can.
Okay, even 2 years away, because they truly know nothing about this virus. And this is what I want to get to. Are they going to begin telling us a lot more truth about this virus or not? Are they going to actually have the CDC come in and do a top to down presentation to people minus politicians?
Yeah, because on our level, we know it's a time traveling karma resolution virus. I don't really see the CDC opening with that. So it's still a lot of, we don't know, but we can't tell you that because it'll make people panic.
Which is why you're not getting any truth about this vaccine, and they can't sell the story to everyone. The virus isn't just gonna go away. Okay? It's not gonna just magically go away.
Yeah, sorry, everyone. I've got to go back to work. It's been fun. I'm due back to go to Jupiter.
Exactly. Virus isn't just gonna go away. Okay. The next journey here is, while we're on this whole journey of nothing happening and they're trying to distract you the whole way through, what are you going to do in this tunnel of awareness?
Yeah, my question was, so if the narrative is on pause, which is business as usual, what can you do? Because you'll have a lot of free time in a way. So
exactly. And there's going to be a lot of broken ass people that you guys have to bring to these comedy shows.
Yeah.
We're going to activate and catalyze you, the audience. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Sean in chat. Someone think of the ancestors. So, yeah.
All right, Rolly. Thanks a lot for calling. And we're going to move on to our next caller. All right, Robert, spin up the wheel of callers and see who's next.
Dookie, Jenny LH.
Jenny, are you there? Jenny.
There we go.
Hello? Jenny, are you there? Did we lose?
Now I'm there.
Hi, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
Good. I'm from Berlin, Germany, or as Monty likes to say, Deutschland.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the name of your country. So, what,
I've never heard that before, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing good today. We getting any good laughs for you?
Well, I love Monty's dry humor. It's always delightful.
Oh, thank you.
And it's a good thing to do while the entire world sinks down into chaos.
Well, but it's perceived chaos, isn't it?
Yes, perception.
It is a perception. I have to thank you guys so much. I think this show you have done in June with the information overload, that was both of you guys, right? Wasn't it?
We talked about that, but I think that was on Martina's show, but it passed on to the other shows.
Yeah, I think there was a serious one about that, and then we took the piss out of it.
And since then, I really have completely shut down on any media, on any alternative media. I'm completely focused on myself and my things I'm doing, and I'm so happy with that. Why didn't you come with that up earlier?
I did in 2013. I said stop watching media.
No, it was really a blessing. I mean, one can really have that choice and really do this. It's like one click away,
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, and you're not feeding the global narrative, and instead of putting energy in that, the false bubble, you start putting it into your own dream bubble. And apart from masks, when I leave the house, everything seems to be fine.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. I mean, I don't wear a mask even. I take the confrontation if it wants to. It doesn't come though, because people are here. I don't know. They point fingers at you, but they won't say anything to you, so I'm fine with that.
Oh, well, I did the Germans know that certain things, like the lockdown protests aren't a massive surprise at all, because it's we've seen this before, people. You may have read that in the papers. That's what I did. The Germans no, we're not doing 9. Stop that.
9. Yeah. Well, I would like to see more of that people around me. It's not like that, actually. I don't know about the protests, about the numbers. They are fluctuating in between, I don't know. Some people say it's around 30,000. Some people say it's near 1 million. I have no idea, because I'm not watching anything. I'm keeping, I'm keeping true to this thing, and it has really tremendously helped me so much. We have enough to do with our lives, and if we really concentrated on that and raised our children regarding to that issue, we would already be in a completely different world,
Well, in a way, you're doing by focusing on yourself. That's a form of protest, because you're ignoring the global narrative. You're the way that work with just neighbors or social media. If the Prime Creator wanted you to find out something, it comes to you the stuff you need, instead of watching CNN for 12 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you just engaged, and it's they're going to tell me something. They're going to tell me something. It's I'm going to go live my life, and if there's important things,
I can say I was I was completely hooked up on that opium, for
oh, it's so
when you talked about that, it's but it's it was how do you call that if one gets out of out of a abuse like this without taking a rehab, like just from one day to another. It's called cold turkey or something like that.
Cold turkey, where you just cut it
Yes.
off completely, and then your body goes through a detox. And
Yeah,
you
but
may
not even
notice
this. It's possible. It's possible. It's really possible.
Oh yeah,
if you without suffering, you know.
And then, like, the next time you watch a news thing, it's like, wow, this, like, everything is so negative. And if you're away from it enough, and then you go back because the spell doesn't work on you anymore, you can see it completely. Where, like, a normal news report is like negativity, danger, negativity, sports, cat up a tree. Here's the weather.
I mean, the people here who are controlling that narrative on the news level, like the guy who is our health minister, comes from working in a bank, and the guy who is like the Robert Koch Institute, he's a veterinarian. You know, I mean, he's a dog's doctor. Okay, so I mean, what do you want to get out of that? You know.
There's a great comedy from the early 80s from England called it was called Yes Minister, and then it became Yes Prime Minister, and it's a fascinating look at the British political system. In one episode, because of all the machinations of moving people around, they end up with a heavy smoker as the health minister. I think the health minister in Holland or Netherlands or whatever they call their country is a very large, overweight woman. It's like, really?
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I mean, I love it. I love that state of being. I love to completely be shut off. It's like watching paintings. You know, going in a gallery, watching paintings, and see all those people. It's, you know, like movies, mind movies, and I feel so detached of it. You know, and I wish more people could do it, because that seems to be the remedy. And if you know, do a little bit of healing here and a little bit of, you know, raising awareness there, it's just an awesome thing. You know, then actually nothing really is happening. No, I mean, you can open your eyes and nothing is happening, you know?
Yeah, it's November 2020. And if you remember 2012, where, you know, the media put forward, the Mayans say the world's going to end. And the Mayans is like, no, we didn't say that. I've actually had a couple of people say, oh, yeah, 2012, the world was supposed to end. The Mayans got it wrong. No, it's the media that got it wrong about the Mayans. The Mayans said the world will change. And it was here where I was in Melbourne on that day. I think it was a Saturday. I do like how most of these shifts are on a weekend. That's quite good.
I see the light workers are the one that screwed up 2012 and the whole Mayan prophecy shit. Don't blame the media.
Yeah. But in hindsight, you could see that's kind of where, if you need a marker in time, that's where things changed. But it was just potential started. As Andrew said, like, I mean, you did like a 24-hour show on that.
12-hour marathon titled Nothing Was Going to Happen Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have wished I met you earlier, Andrew, you know, like that would have saved me a lot of time, you know.
Well, see, now that's just your experience through the timeline, so don't be harsh on yourself.
Exactly. Don't be harsh on yourself. All right, darling, thanks a lot for calling in.
Have a great day, okay? And keep on doing what you're doing. It's so necessary, okay? It's so necessary. The stick up in the ass is like, I don't know, so many people have it. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Just remind people that we do surgical stick removal.
Yeah. Sometimes with anesthetic.
Yes, and sometimes without.
Yeah, exactly. Think of England.
Okay. All right, thanks for calling in. All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
Okay, Alice V. Signal turn mute.
Alice,
wow. Hey,
you made it. Where are you calling from?
Holy moly. Connecticut.
Connecticut. Welcome to the show.
I just love you guys. Just love you guys. So I've been watching you for months, and I think you're just a fantastic duo. And I had this idea for your comedy show.
Okay.
It's you know how you guys were doing the dating?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How about some galactic dating?
We did that too.
You did galactic dating?
Yeah, we've
Where
touched
you
on
could
we've
say-
touched on that a little bit. Yes.
And Monty chimed in and said, can't you get over them blowing up your spaceship when you were on Pleiades?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but it sounds like that.
Yeah, I'd see that with Galactic Tinder. I like, oh, human, left, 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 left.
Yeah. So
That's
the thing with galactic dating, we're going to need volunteers from the audience that want to come on and get grilled by off-world beings.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're going to
Great
have
sauce.
off-world beings that want to come on the show, and you just may not be high frequency enough for them.
Yeah, they've got high standards.
We got
Frequency,
high standards,
And how many heads do you have?
Exactly. Okay.
So,
It's not like, galactic Tinder, it's all too often too many light workers instantly want to talk to the galactics and like, show me all your goods. Give me the titty pic, the dit pic right away.
wow.
And no romance whatsoever.
Andrew, one quick question, which I think will help here. There are humans off the planet Earth, and I don't mean
Yes,
like
billions of them, billions
yeah,
and billions.
and so yeah, we're not unique in that way. I mean, we're unique. We're Earthers, and some of us have gone to Mars for 20 and back. But the basic humanoid shape is in the galaxy anyway. So,
Right.
yeah, it's going to be one of those weird mixes when we're allowed off planet, and we go to Alcyon or whatever, and there's humans there. It's like that's one of those Earther gits. Ooh. They smell. Have you noticed they smell? They smell.
They hold themselves awful high because they went through source disconnection.
Oh my God! Look at the ego on that guy.
Right, exactly. He must be an Earth American.
So
Wow.
do you think this is possibly why I have shit luck on Bumble? Because
Yes.
my guys
Yes.
in the yes?
Yep.
Because my
Yeah,
guys
well, that
in
one
the
went.
different dimension or a different planet, Andrew?
Oh, he's here waiting for you. You're just not in this frequency for them to be there yet.
And
I'm
on the
not.
flip side,
And
and
there's
he may
not
not.
just there's not just one. There's hundreds of potentials.
Yeah, and also they
me.
may not be in the right frequencies at the same time. So
Right.
you can tune into your frequency, and then they're not there. You're dealing with men, darling. I'm sorry, but the potentials have to line up where you're both on channel 7, if that makes sense.
For an
Yeah.
extended period of time without walking away from the commercials.
Yeah.
Eh?
Like that whole thing about, oh, she's 1 in a million. It's like they're very low odds. There's 7 billion people that we know of on the planet.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you, there's been so many times that you've talked and I've had synchronicities. And one of them was when you were talking about the King's Chamber. I went there in 2004 and I had an experience oming where I nearly bilocated.
Mhm.
And my hair was standing up on end when you had that show talking about how you could buy or trilocate. So it was my second time oming, and I tuned into being this blonde-haired, blue-eyed man, I think in Greenland. And I was in this village, and there was a call and response going on. And I didn't know what this was at the time. And I was just told, your role is to provide the missing key so the healing is complete.
Okay.
So
Everyone
I ended up-
has everyone
there it
knows
was.
yeah, everyone has their own unique experience inside that chamber.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like it releases your encoding that I put there as an Egyptian initiate.
It's way
So-
more it's way more than that. It's way more than that.
Talk to me, baby.
It's where you went to get your consciousness excited.
Ooh, hello.
Oh,
So your consciousness is your consciousness, and you can gather excitement for consciousness alone through positive sexual activities, procreation, or you can go to these special rooms that are all over the planet where you can expand your consciousness.
So they're marital aids for consciousness. Is that what you're saying?
No, more like psychic masturbation, mental masturbation tools.
You heard it here first, everybody. We're consciously wankers. I thought I was an
Well-
explorer, but no, we're a wanker.
Alan, thank you. G-spot chambers. Yeah, sort of. But reaching that ecstatic frequency isn't about sexuality. It's accepting the ecstatic frequency as a state of beingness. And when you live around those on a regular basis, you can constantly visit them and retune your high frequencies. So you've used it so many times before to retune your high frequency. Whatever crust of older experiences you needed to shut off was shut off, and the new experience is there for you to go until you're ready to shut off the next and the next and the next.
Yeah, so keep on oming, huh?
Yep. Keep on oming everywhere you can go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you'll have stories like this one time at Egypt camp.
Yep.
Egypt camp. I just invented that. I like that. And I like the idea as well, like, past selves will go, I'm going to be back here in about 10,000 years. So I'll just put this little bit of a key for the DNA to unlock when I come back.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, it was enough for me to come back and quit my job and become an intuitive sound healer. So
a consciousness post-it note. Just put that post-it note on the wall. I'll be back in about 10 millennia and I'll pick that up.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll get you again on a regular show. I just love you and your insights. So thank you for picking up.
All right. Since you asked about galactic dating, I will tune into the galactic audience, and you can begin a line of galactic dating questions.
Ooh, here we go, people.
Ooh.
Strap
You
yourselves
want-
in.
Yes.
Me to begin or
Reach
me to
reach
begin?
into your sound healer self. Reach in deeply and ask galactic dating questions. Yes.
So
Go ahead, Monty.
I was just going to say, who's in the audience? I feel like an MC. So who's from out of town, galactic-wise? Like, I'm sure the Arcturians are turned up, but we favor them.
We've got our usual suspects of observers, which we'll just say it's the Fox News, the MSNBC, and the CNN of the Galactic Federation of Assholes.
Oh no!
So they're stealing our material. Oh,
No. They're tuning into this show that it was a political show that has suddenly gone galactic dating, and it's big news over there.
Something exciting's happening, finally.
Well, I'm just looking for a higher conscious guy that's in touch with his heart. He's just a good guy. That shouldn't be too hard, and he likes to pursue. I find if I say hi on Bumble, for example, come back and ask me about myself.
Yeah. I want someone that like long floats along the beach. Yeah.
Walks on water. Yeah.
Or just floats.
Floats. Okay.
Well, they're like, that's awful shallow of you.
So tell me, what type of ball of light are you looking for?
I don't know what that means.
Well, do you want a humanoid shape or do you want a ball of light? What
Oh,
level are
a
you
ball
looking at?
of light.
Yes.
Your accent. I thought you said something nasty.
No. Orb.
Oh, geez. I don't think I'm asking for too much. Just kind of somebody that is into consciousness. Andrew, when you guys were talking about what you would look for, I wouldn't find that boring to be able to talk about consciousness, or I'm just into my inner child, get out into nature, just the
So
simple things in life.
what you're really saying is you're looking for a reflection of yourself.
Doesn't have to be, but I don't want it I don't want somebody that's not aware or thinks that I'm just flipped out because I'm into conspiracy theories and consciousness.
So you're looking for somebody that's like yourself, but better.
I like in the chat, Rolly had a great question. So where do you see yourself in 10,000 years?
Ascended. Oh, so I shouldn't. I'm open to not looking for myself. Actually, I'm very open-minded.
Well, why don't you look for yourself? Let's shorten the journey for you. Let me shorten the journey for you a little bit.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So look for somebody who's a reflection of you.
I have been.
So when you're on Tinder,
No.
instead of no.
The thing is, you're not looking for a reflection of you.
Why do you say that, Andrew?
It's clearly in your pheromones that you're not looking. That's the dichotomy that you're experiencing. You have a projection of what is right and then what actually is right. And your projection of right doesn't line up with what's actually right for you.
So you're saying, go ahead, look for a reflection of myself.
Right.
Somebody that's spiritual, that has a good heart.
Yeah, exactly.
I am, darling. I am.
No, you've got a bar held up way higher to men. Come on.
I do?
Yeah, absolutely you do.
Like,
that bar is so high it's in the clouds.
Yeah. Well, I have to like how they look, don't I?
That's kind of vanity, isn't it?
Yes.
If you're truly Miss Heart based, it should be all about the heart, right?
No, not everything. I want to be attracted to the person.
But that can be through. Yeah, go ahead.
You're still missing what I'm saying, though.
Okay. Knock me over the head.
Look for somebody who's exactly like you. Your reflection.
Okay.
Okay? And give it a chance and give it a chance and watch how all your programs freak out.
Okay.
Okay? Because they'll be like, oh shit, no, she's about to learn something about herself.
And what a hobby to have over the next 4 years of doing nothing, according to the global narrative. We're in pause mode. I'm just going to go find myself with a reflection then. Screw you guys. I'm going to go find myself.
What do you think would freak me out the most?
Oh, do you want to know that? Or do you want to find that out naturally?
Well, I would know. I would want to know.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be better to know it when it actually happens? Or do you want to have that? I'm just,
true.
Sometimes you don't want to know the future. Like with you stay in the now, like this whole thing with the elections, like it'd be nice to know who's going to win. However, it's more of an experience to find out as it happens.
Yeah, that's true. That's good advice, Monty.
Yeah, I have them one. Yeah. See, that's everyone else is watching. If you want to have a serious conversation with Andrew and myself, just hide it in comedy.
Well said, Monty. Well said.
As long as it's comedic, we can talk about ancestral play, everything else like that. Just be funny, for goddamn.
Son of a bitch. All right.
So yeah, go find yourself on a by location level thing. So if you can say, how's the dating? Oh, I'm trying to find myself. Well, that's a bit egotistical. No, it's not.
The thing is, once you do find yourself, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Accepting. I think be accepting. I think it would be fun.
But will you see your flaws in them?
Or will they see their flaws in you?
Yeah. There's another entity involved as well.
Who is you?
Yeah, exactly. Let's not get into that. But yeah, that's fascinating because if someone is doing the same spiritual journey, because you're a fractal of yourselves, and then you meet each other, like,
Sure. I mean, yeah, you're either seeing that it's coming from you or you're projecting.
And there'd be no reason for you never to not get off again.
and if you do break up, just say, it's not me, it's me.
No, it's not me, it's you. You're the reflection me. I don't like.
Yeah. This mirror is dirty, I'm leaving.
Okay. All right. Well,
you know,
I can hear all this stuff going on in Andrew's head, but he's being too nice to say it. But
just to have
so,
fun. It's part of the experience of unfolding, where anything can happen. However, make a choice.
Mhm.
You do have
Yeah.
free will on a free will planet, in a free will solar system, in a free will galaxy, and I've just realized why there's so much trouble here.
so last question. You're both guys, right? When you have a conversation on online dating, is it old-fashioned to think the guy should do most of the pursuing?
Yes.
Yeah, because if you want equality,
5 generations too old.
Oh, geez. Okay. I'm back in the king's chamber. All right. Good enough.
looking at that post-it note, because it's just the social norms and blah blah blah. It's like, well, what's wrong with equality? That does mean what's wrong with you chasing somebody?
I think I just listened. I listened to the wrong dating advice. I'm glad that I finally got you guys now, and I'll, listen to the men. They're the ones I'm pursuing.
Yeah, know your enemy. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, love you guys.
Thanks a lot for calling in. You were a lot of fun to talk to.
Thank you.
Oh, have a good night. Bye.
You're welcome. So what do we got? Only 2 hands left over? Oh boy.
4. We've just doubled our interest.
We've got more people raising their hands now. All right. All right, Robert, spin up the wheel of callers and see who's next.
Well, this is getting challenging. Lynn E.T.
Lynn E.T., are you there? Lynn, going once.
She's phoning home. There we go.
You know how to hang up on me. Hello.
Hello. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from a little town in southeastern Washington called Grandview.
Grandview, Washington. Welcome to the show. Are we making you laugh today?
Yes. Yeah.
What are we making you laugh about?
Well, galactic dating. But I got to say, hello, Andrew Bartzis. I haven't talked to you since 2013. And somebody, I'm sorry for not remembering the woman's name, talked about self-love. And I got to tell you, you set me on the journey of self-love and the inward journey, focus on self, right? So I really got to say thank you very much for that. I wanted to start with that. So
well, you're welcome.
I was a radio show junkie, 24/7 Revolution Radio listener until my laptop broke. Yeah,
and better for it. So thank you for that sacrifice laptop. She's been listening to me for way too long. That's it. I'm out.
So I have some thoughts and stuff, and then I have a story, and you can decide whether it's humorous or not. I mean, in hindsight, it's humorous to me. So anyhow, this whole political thing, what about nobody really talks too much about Obama. Oh, blah, 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 I call him.
Barry. Oh, yeah, Barry. Good old Barry.
All right. So now I kind of subscribe to the idea that he is biding his time behind the scenes. Wait until maybe perhaps that one world government, the UN, whatever, steps in and he will proclaim himself. Excuse me, all. Excuse me. Proclaim himself pontiff of the world.
I think you've been smoking a lot of opium.
Me? Opium. Not me, him. Come on, man.
Come on. Look, Obama hasn't been around for 4 years.
I know.
It has nothing to do with the political elite.
No. Okay, cool. All right. So, and then I watched these Kim Clemens prophecies about Trump doing 2 terms. Take the piss out of that. Yeah. Oh, here we go. I have an acronym for you guys. Taking the piss out of everything, right? TTPOE. So T double T, ho, right? Anyway, whatever. You pissers. Anyway, Okay, guys, sorry, I'm babbling, but
Okay.
I am a little nervous.
Okay.
You remind me so much of my brother-in-law looks wise. Yeah. So anyway, so, oh, have you heard those
No.
prophecies? Oh, okay.
No. I'm going to bust a lot of balls here. All those people prophesizing about Trumps, it's all false prophecies. Period. That's my point of view. And I've said that since day one coming out, that there's no single savior for everyone. It's your individual saving of yourself from the nothing is happening tomorrow harvesting scenario that we're stuck in.
Also, we're 11 months into 2020. Yeah, good luck with prophecy.
Right.
Like, how many times this year's like, what the fuck?
I will put up $1,000 bet to every prophecy if somebody's going to pay back on the other end.
Can I put in that nothing will happen? Or
that's my statement. Nothing will happen.
Oh, damn. Oh, all right. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. I just need $1,000. Oh, nothing will happen, Andrew.
I could even set it up at Vegas.
So I just had a flashback to it was 2012, Andrew Bartzis, because I'm going to tell you the exact same thing I told you back then was nothing is going to happen on December 21st except for my granddaughter's birthday. And this year it will be her 13th birthday. So I'm not, I'm a skeptic. I don't buy into much anymore because believe me, I've been around the online cults, and stuff like that. Wrong. No, not me anymore. Lost my thought.
Yeah, well, it's just another thing that adds to that list of dates, and as you progress and do your own work and all that type of stuff, you realize, well, that was full of shit, that didn't happen. So that was full of shit, that didn't happen. That full of shit. And so like, oh, there's a solar flash on the 21st. Like, you enjoy believing that. If something happens, awesome, but I'm not investing with it because there's been too many dates in the last 10 years. There's going to be mass arrests, and there's a global reset, and blah, blah, blah. These are all, I think it's the best way of explaining, Andrew. It's projection of the subconscious humanity. It's like, we would like this to happen. And so it filters out where like Trump's our savior, and there's going to be a solar flash. We'll wake everybody up and all this type of stuff. And like,
podcasters who should never be presenters because they don't know what to actually talk about. So they just regurgitate shit from the past.
Yeah, and it's a long list. We're up to 186. I mean, they've been predicting the end of the world or the change of the world for centuries.
Yep. Okay, so back when there was supposed to be that global coastal event, that was also part of our conversation. That's why I called in for the very first time, was the prediction of the global coastal event. Okay, when that shit didn't happen, I just went, waiting for doom is exhausting. To hell with it. I'm getting on with my life. So,
you're no longer a doom and gloomer.
Right.
Welcome to the real world.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. So the galactic dating, that was pretty humorous. I would want to know if are you humanoid, and what's your planet of origin? All right. Okay. Do you guys have religion there? And do you have memories of all your lives? And of course,
all those are valid. All those are valid questions. They have a name. They have a planet of origin. They have their own astrology charts, which you'll have to learn to read what they mean for them. And they have religions. Some are good. Some are intermediate. Some are really convoluted, and some are very amazing.
Yeah. What's your favorite TV show apart from Earth? Yeah.
Right. Earth, the greatest show in the galaxy. And this whole Rona thing, it's like a religion, truly. You got the mask shaming, and savior is that vaccine that's coming. Yeah, that vaccine we all want, right? So anyway. All right.
Yeah, the whole mask thing is Yeah, the mask is very weird. Where it's just a mask, and it seems that masks negative, positive, and everyone's got the same script, and they've forgotten which side they're on. It's just a mask. It's just a mask. It's supposed to help. I don't. Well, it's mandatory here, so we don't really argue about it. If we don't wear a mask in public, it's a $200 fine. However, if it was optional, like if it's your choice, I'm not going to go around saying you're wearing a mask because I know they have free will.
All right, darling. Thanks a lot for calling in. We're going to move on to our next caller.
Cow Moo, I am funny. Well, you have an awesome name.
Well, let's pick Cow Moo. Robert, let's pick Cow Moo as our next caller. Robert, are you there? Hey, how you
Lord
doing?
Moo has arrived.
Lord Moo, where are you calling from?
I am calling from upstate New York.
upstate New York. Welcome to the Moo Show. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I just want to say that, once you get to a critical point of seriousness and you can find this balance to where you're actually not cracking and getting crazy, but things are getting sweet and funny, is beautiful. And so like what you guys are onto, this idea of bringing comedy into this realm, clap, clap, and yes. I made a hat today. I fashioned a bird feeder and put it on my head and got these black-capped chickadees to come land and eat out of it. Dozens of them. And I've had a lot of emotional blocks, and I almost let it out. I almost got that real belly laugh where it was just like, ah. And so what do you think?
Oh, that sounds awesome. That sounds so awesome. I'm deciding I'm going to be called Monty from now. I'm adding another O to my name. So it's not Monty, it's Monty.
So you'd be a Mounty, Monty?
Yeah. Dudley do Monty. I like that. I know what we were outside, because if you did that inside with all the birds, and it just reminds me of who's the wizard in the Hobbit films? It was played by Sylvester McCoy, who was one of the Doctor Who's. He was. They actually had a mushroom joke. It was like Saruman actually says, "I don't like him. He indulges with the mushrooms too much." Rasta, whatever his name is.
Ragnhagdas. Yes.
Yeah, Ragnahast. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So that's the image of you laughing your ass off while birds are floating around your head peacefully.
And so agile.
So what have we made you laugh about? How many comedy shows have you listened to?
Well, I don't know how many. I'd say a handful. I'm one of these characters that thinks a lot of things are funny, but then doesn't actually laugh. I think a ton of stuff is funny, but it's just like, yeah, that's hilarious.
So what have we actually made you laugh about over the shows that you've watched?
Yeah, what was a physical reaction?
That's a great question. Basically anything where you are calling just bullshit across the board. And then that's, that is this place where, I don't know, like where it's release. So if you're calling bullshit on, even it's kind of like a self-reflexive thing, right? Mm-hmm. So you're like, oh, it doesn't exclude me.
Well, I'm actually got an idea for a merchandising product. We're going to sell a sneeze guard for the computers, because we keep getting comments of like, I just spat my coffee all over my screen, because they stupidly have a drink when we're telling a joke, and then they laugh and everything comes straight out. Have a window wiper on it.
And also, it's kind of the only way to really make sense, if and don't hold me to the two words make sense, of this year, is that it's funny.
Well, it breaks the programming and it breaks up the energy. When I remember to mention it in the intro of my roundtable, Planet Collingwood tainting Loosh since 2015. And so the way I see it, like if they're energy harvesting from us, I'm going to use comedy, and it's like pissing in the well. It's like, oh, this Loosh is terrible. Is this from a comedian? God, fuck's sake.
Yes. Let's mix this Loosh with something else.
Why is there gravy in this cake mix? Yeah.
Exactly. All right, brother. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Have a good one.
All right. Monty, shall we do another caller?
Yeah, we've got 5 brave souls sticking their hand up.
All right, Robert. Spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
De Clamaris.
But I didn't hear what you said.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Quentin.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
France.
Welcome to the show. What did you want to talk about tonight?
I just want to know your opinion about dark jokes, like really mean jokes.
It's still comedy, but it's the dark side of comedy, where instead of you just being mean, like there's a great, if you've seen the movie Nutty Professor, which was the remake with Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle is actually the stand-up comic, and Eddie, when he's the larger man, walks in, and it's like 5 minutes of just making him the butt of jokes and being extremely mean. All makes him cry, and the whole room is laughing. Then once he's had the elixir and he's skinny Eddie, he goes in and does the same thing to Dave Chappelle and just destroys him. That's not dangerous. How's a better way to say it, Andrew? Where it's you can cause damage, and universal law, do no harm.
Well, when jokes turn into pure humiliation, that changes the nature of what you're actually doing with it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding the nature of what violent humiliation can be also. It becomes an energy attack.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you allow that to happen, that's you putting your okaying force behind an actual attack on a person, which then opens you up to the laws of karma.
Oh yeah, because it's used as a weapon instead of diffusing a situation, you can ramp it up. Like how many fights have started where someone says a joke and then they get offended, and so they start joking back, but it's in a very negative way,
aggressive way. It usually becomes religious or racist.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
It is fun actually. Learning that comedy thing of realizing when you are crossing the line in the comedy, where it's the positive comedy where it can diffuse so many things. And that's why a part of our MO, Andrew, is where if your higher beings don't get the joke, it's like, well, you're not really a higher being because we're taking the piss and we're making it light. But if we were just being completely negative all the time, it is actually a level of frequency where instead of breaking up energy, you're adding energy, a lower energy to it. So it's like putting concrete blocks on your feet type thing.
Exactly. I see. But there's some points, because jokes I find funny is the most offensive ones, the ones that make you, react.
See, well, now we're blurring the lines where some things can be offensive, but if it's just not mean, like the classic blonde jokes, they usually are funny, and you can just replace blonde with any type of character, be Jewish or Aboriginal or anything else like that. So the trick is not to actually pick on it. It's called punching down. That's it. You try and punch up. It's so much easier to make fun of Henry Kissinger because he's got that karma of him being a complete bastard. But if you're picking on a 5-year-old because they've made a mistake, you're just causing so much damage. And I can see where you're creating karma around you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyways, how are you guys?
Tired.
Tired.
this week of like, there'll be an election. We'll find out who won. We can move on with our lives. But no, it's just like stretching it further out. And I was part of a 16-hour election special on Revolution Radio. I didn't do the 16 hours because I wouldn't be here right now. The conspiracy world has just lost its collective mind, because when I was actually online doing the show, when Trump came out and said, we're going to the courts, and that was just a left turn out of nowhere, because there was no hint, or I think he only made the decision 20 minutes earlier. And there was the election was going a certain way. Trump said, we're going to the courts, and everything just turned left.
What does the name Monty Dean come from?
Dean is my family name, and Monty, I got that nickname in high school because I saw Life of Brian and wouldn't shut up, and so they called me Monty. I wanted to be called Python, but we were teenagers, and it meant something else.
And what's the funniest thing you guys ever witnessed or heard?
Well, I had a laughing fit where I was at like a scout jamboree, and we're mucking about trying to go to sleep. And the patrol leader said, like, the next person that says anything, I'm going to pummel. And I grabbed someone's hat and threw it and said, hey, that's my hat. Right, that's it. And started punching into him. And I laughed for 4 minutes straight. Okay. I think it was one of those you had to be there moments, but I haven't had one of those laughing fits where an energy cleanse, just something happens, because it's a surprise. That's the thing about most comedy, is there's a surprise. And if it taps into, I need Andrew's help here with the wording. When you have a release where you make a breakthrough and it comes out in comedy, you just let it flow. And I've had people actually laughing so much they couldn't breathe, because in a French Canadian accent, Coke and ice sound completely different. Hello, I would like a cock and ass. Cock and ass, please. I really like it when the cock gets into the ass, and just went on, and this poor woman's like laughing so much that the air was out of, we nearly killed her. She didn't die, but I could spend 5 minutes just saying Coke and ice in that accent, and I'm amused. So I'm sharing. But that's one moment where, as a comedian, that's where I've had that response where, doing stand-up comedy, if you make someone's drink come out of your nose, you've had a good gig.
I see. And what about you, Andrew? Couldn't you be a comedian because you can read people well?
Sure. I have a goal. If it wasn't for actual COVID, I would have been doing stand-up comedy at regular clubs on a regular interval.
Yeah, that's how we sort of reconnected with each other.
That's exactly. It's how we reconnected with each other. Yeah, I was already intending to go and do that.
Yeah, I have a writing session with him.
I do like a 6-city tour and to go and do what I do city to city.
And the one idea I shared with Andrew is he was doing a seminar or a conference. Don't tell anyone he does stand-up, but I think on the Sunday, the second day after lunch, just come out and do 20 minutes of comedy. And that's part of the surprise, because if he said, there'll be a comedy thing, people are you're setting up the parameters. But if he just came out and just slayed them because it's it's a surprise, it wasn't known type thing. The expectation. Thank you, Trice.
Have you ever done any stand-up comedy?
Me?
Comedy?
I've done stand-up comedy on open mic nights. I mean, 2 minutes, 3 minutes here at a time. But I've also done other improv acting stuff. So I have done that.
Did you ever fail a joke?
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, my God. I had bombers of jokes. Let everybody just looking at you like, get off the stage, idiot. Yes, I've had many of those.
And that stand-up comedy is one of the only jobs that you have instant reaction. And the only way to really learn stand-up comedy is to go on stage and have that interaction with the audience. The way I've explained how time is an illusion. If I have 5 minutes of stand-up comedy. And if I'm working really well and the crowd loves me, that 5 minutes can go, it would feel like 30 seconds. However, if my jokes aren't working and the crowd don't respond and they don't connect, I could stretch that out to an hour and a half. The clock says 5 minutes, but you know how you can manipulate time, like watching Andrew's Galactic Historian 1.0. They're only 25 minutes long on the counter, but sometimes it's like you've spent 45 minutes with all the energy and the information coming through.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for calling in. You've been a real fun caller.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you,
Robert.
guys.
Robert, let's pick Dave for the next caller.
But Dave's not here, man.
Dave, you got a signal to unmute.
Dave, are you there? Dave, you got there you go, Dave.
Oh, there Dave is here.
Can you hear?
Can we?
Half. Can you? No. Try
Are you
again. Muted. There's a red light. Yeah, there we go. How about now?
Almost.
There we go. How are you, Dave?
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Fine.
Oh, your reception is awful. I don't think we're gonna stay connected.
Yeah, that 5G tower doesn't like your cut of your jib. So he's muted again. So I don't think. Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna work. All right, Robert. Let's take the last person with their hand up.
Okay, Kim, you pulled out all this time.
Kim, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Hi, where are you calling from?
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon.
Ooh.
Welcome to the show. What do you
brave
want to
soul,
talk about?
brave soul.
The National Guard. Yeah, hey, you guys have made me laugh so much I've peed my pants numerous times. No, thank
Wonderful.
you.
We made you pee your pants.
We're not legally responsible for that. That's a choice by you, but it's good to know.
You could pay me for some undergarments.
So what are some of the things we've made you pee your pants on?
Oh, I swear it's the alien sex thing. I'm
The
sorry,
alien
it's funny.
The alien sex thing. Yeah.
The earlier shows, you know, because I read Amazon, the romance novels, you know, with the dude, where's my shirt novels.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, you guys are missing a lot of comedy from that area of the world. Have you ever peeked at the? Oh, I swear to God, it's
I've watched Highlander. Does that cover it?
No.
Well, no.
Outlander.
These are like aliens, and you can get aliens and vampires, and you can get aliens who are shifters and dragons, and it's like anything combination you can think of. And it's so funny because it's so ridiculous, you know. But you guys are missing out on comedy ammunition. I know it's not your thing, but because you're guys.
I'm just imagining the photo shoots where they have Fabio, but he's green and got antennas.
Well, no, but and they've all got prehensile penises. It's so funny. But I swear, you guys are. And then there's the reverse harems. So you got, you know, reverse harems, and you don't have to pick, you know. Are there any out there in the universe looking for Earth girls?
Oh my God! You've just opened a doorway of. I don't want to trip over some of these landmines that are there. Earth girls got a street cred.
There is a movie called Earth Girls Are Easy. I wonder where they got that idea from.
Oh, it's funny. I love that movie. It's been a while since
No,
I've
no,
seen
no,
it.
no. You got to be careful with an Earth girl. You got to be real careful with an Earth girl. She may rock
Lay
your,
it on us.
she may rock your consciousness.
Yes, because the thing is, like, Earth girls come with emotions.
Yeah, 50 color emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shades of emotions.
Yes.
Walk on eggshells.
No, more like you can't be your classic cultural self around them.
Man, you're not doing that again. I don't think so.
Earth girls are known as to be very vengeful lovers too.
Oh, that wouldn't be good.
So many of a procreational limbs have been chopped off by many Earth girls.
You mean
made,
not just the
has
one?
made us wall trophies.
Ooh, that's funny.
Okay.
Well, you've seen it on Earth how the ladies sort of lose their shit when they're man and they go psycho crazy bitch. Now, put that into the galaxy. I think there's a reason why the aliens don't land here that much. Not all women.
No. It's Earth girls are overreactive at times.
Oh yeah.
Some. Yeah. Now you're asking me from the galactic perspective, and I said I'm trying not to step on some landmines here. But Earth girls have done some fucked up shit out in the galaxy. All right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
How about some lighter moments then?
Yeah. Let's go with the positive aspects.
There's been plenty of positive things too, but when you're talking like, galactic TMZ level, there's a lot of Earth girls that have had their 15 minutes of fame out there.
Huh? I'm just thinking of Zeus. Like I'm sure the stories of Zeus where he turns into 18 different animals and have kids with all these women. Was that the same entity, or was it just all these different things? And the Greeks have gone, oh, we'll just put all that together and call it a god.
Pretty much that's what they did. Throw it all into one and make them think it. Yeah.
You look a swan, a duck, a donkey.
Is there a dating app?
For Galactics, no, they don't need apps to date. And they kind of laugh. They kind of laugh at us at the ways that
of course they do.
The limited ways in which we engage in our journeys of getting to know each other. Okay, so
like when we go to a darkened room, drink. When we go to a darkened room, drink alcohol, and then try and start the mating ritual. Hello.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
What's the source audit you've mentioned a couple times?
Oh, that's been back in 2014, and Source did its audit and changed the game a little bit, and it moved out a whole bunch of things, and it's what set us up for where we're at today.
Any update on that or current?
The event has began in 2014. You can go back to all my shows and you'll hear me say the exact same thing.
Yeah,
the event already happened. You missed it.
Yeah, Source knows what it's doing, unlike the vote counters in Nevada. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just trying to get a handle on I'm the source of all I survey, and how do I get a crack in it so I can, get further in my journey.
Self-healing, self-nurturing, self-discovery. Practice daily practice ritual. That is the way of discovering your source connection at a deeper and deeper level.
And it comes down to choice in your belief bubble / engine as well. So if there are blocks, you could be believing a certain thing that is holding you back. See, Andrew, I do listen occasionally.
I know you do. You're quite smart, Monty.
Sorry, Kimberly, say that again.
I want to get to the conception point of entry in the on Earth, because that's where I need to heal from.
No. You're making something an instant gratification end instead of allowing the universe to show you the infinite amount of ways of healing.
And believe me, that's fun learning that lesson. I want it now. And the universe is like, no. Like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, that's where all the stuff started.
No.
Shouldn't I start there?
No. There's no real start and there's no real end. There's just an it. You cannot allow start and end in a multidimensional nonlinear construct. There's no start and end in it. You come in with the nature of a fallacy of the understanding what it is. It's a thing, and then it's going to stop being a thing in our reality.
That could be the block, is that you're holding on to the conceptual, the social construct of time, where there is only now. If you start sort of, I need a start and there's an end, it's like, well, even if it's outside of the time thing, but the time can be a cage in that respect.
Well, no, I get the whole thing of we're all one.
Yeah, yeah, but
my next life, I could be you, and then I could be Andrew, and then I could be one of the next people in the audience here, and then I could be a bug or a tree or goes
yeah,
all
but
the way.
I think I think the somewhere in the subconscious then is the block of I could be completely wrong. I'm just a comedian, and Andrew does all this stuff. It's because time is an illusion, and so it's just even saying that to yourself every day for 3 weeks, it helps you realize, well, you can manipulate time, like as was that example of doing 5 minutes of comedy where the time can go really, time flies with, well, okay, well,
I've
then
caught the bus in 1 minute.
Oh, nice. Oh, and manifesting car spots are nice too. Well, there seems to be a block, obviously, and I'll hand it over to someone who knows what they're doing. Andrew, what recommendations can you put forward, sir?
Self-healing, self-nurturing, self-exploration, daily practice, daily mastery, joyful exploration of the self. That is the blueprint to discovering it.
Yeah, throw in a colonic just for sure.
Well, colonic to help you kickstart it.
Get the blockage out of the way. So,
well, I have autism too, so it's a little hard.
Because you want it now. Because you want it now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's not a problem; it's a challenge.
Well, understand the law. Understand the law of expectations. When you want it now, you have an expectation of being validated or fulfilled or given the gift, which creates the illusion of expectation.
Which could be the block as well, because instead of like on a basic level manifesting, I want an apple, and then 3 weeks later, you get handed an apple because the universe has got to shift itself into a certain thing. It's like, I want an apple now from that guy, and the universe, like, no, there's a reason you can't get an apple. Like, it's if you miss a bus or a train, there's 3 easy ones. Like you weren't supposed to catch that bus because the bus is going to be in a car accident, or something bad could happen if you got on the bus, or the flip side of that is by missing the bus, you catch the next bus and meet the love of your life. And it's well, for me anyway, I don't try and think about these things. It's more in hindsight of like, instead of like, why is this happening to me? It's more of, what am I supposed to learn here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't take the short bus.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Walk. Exercise is good.
Yeah. All right, Darren. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Monty. We are at the end of the show. Why don't you give a way for people to get a hold of you?
I have my YouTube channel, which is Wafer Thin Entertainment, on Twitter, which is really popping off right now, at Real Monty Dean, on Facebook, Monty Dean, and on Instagram, Monty.Dean, where I am a meme king. And you can see me on public transport now because I can leave the house.
You can find me at my website, andrewbartzis.com. You can go to my Facebook page, Andrew Bartzis, look up Galactic Historian. Please hit like on this video and subscribe to the channel, and make sure your notifications are on also. We'll be back this coming Tuesday, 12 noon Eastern time, with another show with Martina Grubmuller and myself. And then we will be back the Thursday after that for the ongoing open call-in shows. All right, Robert, take us away.
each different bubble of reality is true. A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma. Nudge, nudge, it's the Holy Grail. Improvise. Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.